Hi, this is Chaplain Densford, Deputy Garrison Chaplain of Fort Wainwright, with another installment of Water from the Well. Well, just last month in June, we remembered the beginning of the Korean War, 1950 through 52. One of the highlights of that war was the ministry of Chaplain Emil Kapaun. Chaplain Kapaun was a American chaplain. He served during World War II in the Burma theater, and then was with the 8th Cav when they were sent to Korea at the beginning of that war, as North Korea was showing aggression against South Korea. 8th Cav followed the North Koreans, or pursued them into North Korea, and then they were surprised. They were ambushed by Chinese military who was there just entering the war. Chaplain Kapaun was constantly having to be reminded to keep his head down. He was always out there with the soldiers, either helping them or giving them last rites. Well, he was there with them when the Chinese overran an element of the 8th Cavalry, and he chose to stay with the wounded soldiers, the captured soldiers, instead of evacuating with the other elements. And he went with them. He helped to carry wounded soldiers during their march to the prison camp. He would protect them. In fact, he received posthumously the Medal of Honor for his actions during that the beginning of that captivity as they were marched to the prison camp. But once they were in the prison camp, he did so much to care for the other prisoners. He would steal food to feed them. He would help them medically as much as he could. He would wash their clothes, their dirty and soiled clothes. He would do so many things for them, including keeping their morale up, providing religious support for them during a difficult time, and in fact against the wishes of his captors. He eventually got very sick, and the captors put him to what they called the hospital, but refused medical care for him, and he died. But the stories continued to roll out of what Chaplain Kapaun had done for his fellow prisoners and for the soldiers even before they were captured. So much so that there's many that are working in the Catholic Church to have him declared a saint, which is significant because it shows the ministry, the ministry that he did for so many others. And as we look at that, of course, most of us won't experience the things that those soldiers did, that Chaplain Kapaun did, but we can put his attitude, we can put his commitment, his compassion to work wherever we might find ourselves. Here we are today in a very unusual time in the United States with the pandemic, with the protests and even riots, with all the things that are going on in our days. And we can do what we can to help others in the midst of all this stuff. Chaplain Kapaun showed selfless service. He wasn't worried as much about himself or his health or his safety as he cared for others, or follow his example in personal courage as he was willing to protect those who the Chinese were just ready to kill because they couldn't keep up or they were wounded. We could follow Chaplain Kapaun's example even in the good times, and in caring for others, and taking care of the needs of others and protecting others. So I just want to encourage you today to think about that. Maybe get a book on Chaplain Kapaun, or you could Google search him. You can find information about him and be encouraged by his life and ministry. Not just encouraged, though, be motivated to follow his example, to live a life of selfless service, caring for others, to live a life of personal courage, and not being concerned about yourself or your own safety as you care for others or protect others, and just be what God wants you to be, as Chaplain Kapaun did during the Korean War. Be blessed, be well, and during these times, as we hope that things are getting back to some kind of normalcy, don't get lax in your care for others, but ramp that up and be more mindful of the needs of others and seeking to meet their needs, seeking to care for them, seeking to share the love of God with them as you understand it.